On the 21st of May, a Canberra on a reconnaissance mission, flown by WGCDRCH Kilcarney, Squadron LDRA Perumal and Squadron LDR UK JA, was hit by ground fire. The flight was, however, recovered safely, and returned to base on one engine. On the 25th of May, the Cabinet Committee on Security authorized the IAF to mount attacks on the infiltrators without crossing the lock. Initial indications from the government to the IAF was to operate only attack helicopters. However, the Chief of Air Staff put forth the argument that in order to create a suitable environment for the helicopters, fighter action was required. On the 26th of May, the go-ahead was given and the IAF started its strike roll. Flying from the Indian airfields of Srinagar, Avantapur and Adampur, ground attack aircraft MiG-21s, MiG-23s, MiG-27s, Jaguars and the Mirage 2000 struck insurgent positions. Of note, although the MiG-21 is built mainly for air interception with a secondary role of ground attack, it is capable of operating in restricted spaces, which was of importance in the Kargil terrain. The first strikes were launched on the 26th of May, when the Indian Air Force struck infiltrator positions with fighter aircraft and helicopter gunships. 2. The initial strikes saw MiG-27s carrying out offensive sorties, with MiG-21s and, later, MiG-29s providing fighter cover. Mi-17 gunships were also deployed in the Talaling sector. 3. Srinagar Airport was at this time closed to civilian air traffic and dedicated to the Indian Air Force. 2. However, on the 27th of May, the first fatalities were suffered when a MiG-21 was shot down by Pakistan Army over Balakot sector, while a MiG-27 crashed due to engine flame out. 4. 5. The following day, a Mi-17 was lost with the loss of all 4 of the crew when it was hit by 3 Stinger missiles while on an offensive sortie. 3. These losses forced the Indian Air Force to reassess its strategy. The helicopters were immediately withdrawn from offensive roles as a measure against the man-portable missiles in possession of the infiltrators. On the 30th of May, the Indian Air Force called into operation the Mirage 2000, which was deemed the best aircraft capable of optimum performance under the conditions of high altitude seen in the zone of conflict. Armed initially with 250 kilograms dumb bombs, No. 7 Squadron led by WGCDR Sandeep Chabra over 3 days, struck infiltrator positions in Munto Dalo, Tiger Hill and Point 4388 in the Dras sector. The strikes on Munto Dalo on the 17th of June also destroyed logistics and resupply capabilities of the infiltrators in the Balakot sector. 3. Through the last weeks of June, the Mirages, armed with LGBs as well as with DUMs, repeatedly struck the heavily defended Tiger Hill. The first of these missions were observed by the, then, Chief of Air Staff, ACMI Tipnis. 3. The choppers used were Mi-8 and the Mi-17. The transport planes were Avro, and 32 and Il-76. On May 27, the IAF had sent a MiG-27 on a photo reconnaissance mission over the Indian side of the line of control in Kashmir. Piloted by FLT-LTK Nashikita, he ejected from his MiG-27 after an engine flame out due to Pakistani retaliation. Squadron leader Ajay Ahuja, who was in his MiG-21, tried to trace the downed MiG despite a blatant threat in the form of enemy anti-aircraft guns. Within minutes his plane was shot at by a Stinger shoulder-fired missile. Having crashed, it is believed by the Indian military that he survived the crash but was killed by Pakistan Army soldiers or irregulars. The body of Ahuja bore 2 point-blank bullet wounds as per the post-mortem done by the Indian authorities. The point-blank injuries clearly indicate the intent of the enemy and a treatment in violation of Geneva Conventions. FLT-LT Nashikita was later paraded on Pakistan TV. This prompted India to accuse Pakistan of violating the Geneva Convention on the treatment of prisoners of war. The next day the Air Force lost an Mi-17 helicopter to a shoulder-fired missile near Talaling, killing the crew of 4. This resulted in a change in strategy and technology. With the Israelis providing around 100 laser-guided bomb kits to the Indian military, the Air Force chose to make maximum use of this and retaliated with regular sorties on Pakistani-occupied bunkers. The aircraft operated at 10,000 meters AGL, 33,000 feet above sea level, well out of man-pads range, leading to a drop in the accuracy rate of the bombs. The low number of airstrips for takeoff and landing of the flights also constrained the efficiency of the attacks. Despite this, there were hundreds of sorties on the intruders with no further material or personnel casualties, enabling a gradual takeover of the mountain posts by Indian troops. According to IAF, the airstrikes against the Pakistani infiltrators, supply camps and other targets yielded rich dividends. By July all the remaining intruders had withdrawn and the operation was ended, being declared a success by the IAF in having achieved its primary objectives. However, there has also been criticism of the methods initially used and the type of planes being unsuitable to the terrain that resulted in early losses. 1. This is believed by many in the Air Force as coming as a wake-up call to upgrade the aging fleet of craft, especially the attack aircraft and helicopters, to better enable them to fight in the mountainous region. But, in the context of the war and in light of the poor information available on the infiltrations, the Indian Air Force was able to coordinate well with the Army and provide air support to the recapture of most the posts before Pakistan decided to withdraw its remaining troops. Aftermath. The lessons learned in this limited war influenced India to urgently upgrade its combat fleet. It acquired and later started co-developing Sukhoi Su-30 Mki heavy fighters with Russia beginning in the early 2000s. The process of acquiring 126 medium multi-role combat aircraft was also initiated in 2001, India's largest military tender to date. Dassault Rafale was declared the winner in January 2012. On the 21st of May, a Canberra on a reconnaissance mission, flown by WGCD-RCH Kulkarni,